Hey everyone, my name is Neil and welcome back to my garage. Today I want to go over the tools that I started using when I first got into woodworking. So without wasting time, let's go ahead and get into it. Now this isn't going to be like your average video where I'm sitting here and doing a build. We're just going to be talking about the tools that I use. And I'm also not going to sit here and talk on and on longer than I need to in order to increase watch time, because why would anyone do that? And I'm so confident in that fact that we're going to try to get this done in 3 minutes or less. So DJ, go ahead and set that timer. All right, let's get into it. Now, the very first tool that I ever picked up was a drill. It was vital to getting started on anything. You really can't do much if you don't have one, because you need to be able to drill pilot holes and everything else. So a drill is what I first got, and then later on came an impact driver, but this I would say would be my most used tool. Number 2 is a circular saw. So this was a gift that I got, which is why it's not on the same brand as the other one. But this Ryobi circular saw, when I first got started, I used this for everything. Every piece of lumber that I cut, I had to cut it with this. Every piece of plywood, just like that, and I never had an issue. Now you can start with a circular saw and do just fine. If you want to later on, you could step up to a miter saw, a table saw even. But trust me, you can get everything that you need done with a circular saw. It's just not going to be as accurate, but you got to start somewhere. So next on the list is a hammer. These come in handy. They're pretty self-explanatory, but you can use these for basically any project that you're working on. On the right I have a regular hammer, and on the left I have a dead blow hammer. I usually grab the dead blow hammer because it's less likely to mess up the workpiece that I have, but you are going to be using these all the time. So next on the list is a tape measure. You really can't do much without knowing how much you're cutting, especially when it comes to setting up your first workbench or your first pieces. Unless you want to eyeball it, you're going to need to measure something. So I picked this up at Harbor Freight for a few dollars, and it's not the most accurate thing, but it definitely allowed me to make my first pieces. All right, so next is a sanding device. Now you can step up to a random orbital sander, but with the inflation at 8% plus, I recommend that if you don't have the budget for that, this will work just fine. This is what I started out with when I first started building, because normally when you're done with your project, it's either going to be rough, you're going to have splinters sticking up, or you're going to have burrs that you need to remove. So a sanding device is perfect for getting rid of all that stuff. And again, these only cost maybe $5, $10, not that expensive, and it'll get the job done. Is it going to be as quick as using a random orbital sander, especially for an entire tabletop? No, but you can use it and it will still get the job done. All right, a screwdriver. Now you're usually going to have screws, something in your project that requires them, so I recommend a good ratcheting screwdriver. What I like about this is it helps save the wrist because you're able to stay in one motion and then twist back and forth. All right, so next on the list is clamps. Now these are perfect for when you're getting started, because you're going to have to get used to wood shifting on you when you're trying to fasten things together. So these are perfect because they're a second set of hands that are able to hold things down for you while you try to drill your pilot holes or you use your wood glue. Now this is a 6-inch and 12-inch. I picked these up at Harbor Freight for a few dollars a piece. I recommend at least getting one of each of these sizes, if not more. Okay, so the last tool that I used to get started in my woodworking was a speed square. Again, you're going to be putting things together, especially if they're supposed to be at 90 degrees. The speed square will allow you to check quickly, as it's a 90-degree angle from here to here. I picked this up at Harbor Freight for a few dollars, and I've been rolling with it ever since. And then this isn't really a tool, but this is just a bonus item that we have on the list: safety glasses. You want to make sure that you're always being safe. These tools used in the wrong condition can be dangerous, or when you're cutting something, anything can happen to pop up in your eye. So in order to prevent that, you want to make sure that you're wearing safety glasses at all times. I know that there are going to be some people who say, I never wear safety glasses, or I don't need them. Trust me, the last thing you want is an injury while you're cutting something, and it could have been prevented if you had just been wearing safety glasses. All right, so that's the list of tools that I use in order to get started in woodworking. Again, they're not the most fanciest tools, but they're exactly what I needed to get started. As you continue to progress, your skills are going to get better and you may step up to better tools. I just want to reiterate that this is my list of tools that I use for me in order to get started. It may not be the ones that you use or agree with. Let me know down in the comments which ones you would like to be added to your list, or what tools that you think are just as vital as the ones that I just mentioned. Also, as I mentioned, this is not a build video, but if you do want to see one, go ahead and hit right here and you'll see the latest one for a 3-hour simple workbench. All right, I'll see you guys.